Good evening and welcome to Ownin the Evening. This is the Owndog alongside Alma.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we are ready once again to bring some positivity to your day, to help you make a better day and to make somebody else's day great as well. We're glad you're here with us and, well, we're ready to get started. Gifts from a family friend, Alma. This was kind of a big deal when this happened for us because it's been a struggle these last, few months, all summer. Just money's been a little tighter than it has been. And we're okay. We learn to, we adapt and adjust and we survive with enough. But we haven't had money for extras that some people might just view as normal. Like you go back to school, start a new school year, you get new clothes. This has just always been the way that it has been for our kids. But this year we just couldn't do it. So things like that, it's just been tighter. But again, we're blessed to be okay. And I try to keep that perspective even when I'm bummed out, that I can't do something like new clothes for school. But with that said, go ahead, Alma.
Well, it was really nice. One of my Discord friends just out of the blue reached out and asked how I was doing and how my kids were doing. And they wanted to know, and they specifically asked about school supplies and new clothes. And I don't lie, but I don't flat out say yeah, this sucks, because like Ondog said, we get by, we make do with what we have. And even though we couldn't get new stuff, what we had was going to be enough and we were going to get by with it, so it wasn't that bad. But despite having a what I felt was a humble response, or my attempt at one, they were generous and gifted us a gift card to Walmart to get the kids new clothes and some of the stuff they needed for school, that they didn't have. And so
That's awesome.
it was just amazing. Out of the blue, just, hey, how are your kids? And hey, I know what it's like. Your story touches me. Let me help. And it was amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So to that person, obviously, thank you. It means a lot to 6 people. So, yeah, the kids were pretty excited, and Alma was excited. I was excited when I found out.
So we've been waiting in anticipation for when we could go to Walmart, right?
Yeah.
And that night finally came tonight. So my mom was able to pick us up. We had a little hitch where it took a lot longer than expected to get to the store. So we were crunched for time because my mom doesn't like to be out when it's dark. So she's got to get home before it starts to get dark. And so, we didn't have all the time in the world to just browse and have fun. It was kind of get there, get what we need, and get out. But even still, with that time crunch, we were able to get some things that the kids really needed. New shoes. Our son, he's a growing boy. He had outgrown his shoes, and they had worn out, to where they couldn't even strap anymore. So he really needed a new pair of shoes. Just the other day it broke. So it was perfect timing. My mom was like, yeah, we definitely need to get him new shoes. He can't wear broken shoes. I was like, I know this, Mom. Thanks. But Um, she's a mom, so she knows. So she took us to the store and we got new clothes and they were so excited. And it was awesome to be able to treat them to this thing that was just a gift from a virtual stranger, someone that I may never meet in real life, but that cared enough about someone that they've talked to on the internet to reach out and make a difference in their life in a real way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like I said, it was a very nice surprise. And so with that said, it is interesting how you can make a difference in someone's life reaching out to a person that you don't know in person. But I would argue, though, that Alma, you've made an impact in their life enough through your interactions online. So even though they may not know the IRL Alma, they know enough about the real you,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, I like to think that too. I give them the real me, even though it's just virtual text based me that they get. I like to think that. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome. It's kind of what we're talked about and we're trying to do here is be as real as we can. So I think that for him or for her, for that person, they know enough about the real you that they wanted to help.
And that was just touching.
Yes, I thought so too. While we keep the kids fairly close to the vest and we don't, you know, I'm not big on posting pictures of the kids or I don't think we've even, yeah, we're just a little bit more protective and guarded of the children. But even still, this person was motivated and moved enough by their knowledge of Alma and what they do know about the kids, because we do share some info, but we try to protect their identity. Part of that too, if you didn't know, oh, you didn't know? Our oldest daughter has asked us not to, like, put her info or her photo out there. She doesn't like it.
Yeah. I
She
used to blog.
she had found some photos on your old blog that she asked how they got on Google, how she could get them off of Google. Like she didn't like being able to Google her name and find photos of herself.
So we took care of that because you should be able to take care of that if you want to. And I was able to, thankfully, because it was my blog.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't really think about it when you're posting photos of somebody else, but maybe they didn't want their photo out there. Now, I've been to school, I studied communication, I know broadcasting and legal requirements. I went to law school. I've had a lot of experience, so I know that by and large, you're free to photograph whoever you want. And if it's public place, they really can't say much of anything. But at the same time, I've stressed so many times that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
So true.
So my daughter does not like to be photographed, and just because, hey, I know the law, I'm not going to put her through that. But at the same time, she has a few personality quirks, I think would be the best way to sum it up. And I don't think that they're the best quirks in just things like this, like her hatred for photographs, so she'll run away. These types of things. We've talked about this before. Don't need to get into it. She's a great kid, though. So if I can help her be a better version of herself and be great by not putting a photo up, I'm all for helping her. But at the same time, I've been trying to tell her, you got to kind of ease back a little bit. You can stress too much over just about anything. Let's not stress too much over this, but I don't know how it makes her feel and stuff like that, Alma.
Yeah. To us, it's no big deal because we've just put ourselves out there. But she's growing up in the environment where people get bullied for the things that are on the internet. So it's a different environment for her. It may it may well be a different psyche for her, you know?
You you're absolutely right. It's something that I hadn't considered when you just mentioned that, so that's fair. My counter to that would be nothing that was there was weird. Like they were just normal photos.
Yeah, but kids are weird, and it was her young photos, and you know, it kids are weird about the stuff they want to share. So, I mean, if you want to control that information, I guess she should be able to control it about herself, you know?
Controlling information. I guess.
It's
Sure.
her data.
I'm on board. If you want to be able to control your information, I guess you should be able to do that. That's why I don't share any of my personal data with companies. And we're not going to turn this into a whole thing about that. But man, could I go on and on about that topic. Maybe for another show. Maybe for a future show, we'll talk a little bit about why I don't share my personal information with companies. But for now, we're going to keep this ball rolling. Alma, again, for your friend, if they listen to the show, if they happen to hear this, thank you so much for helping out. It meant a world of difference to us, and it made 6 people very happy to see 3, 4 kids get new clothes. It meant the world of difference. 3 school kids and 1 homeschool kid.
Yeah.
Homeschool is cool. But anyway, insight into soul family. That's the next topic.
Yep.
What does that mean, Alma?
This is what I feel like happens when you let life just lead you where you're meant to be. You can't help where you're going sometimes. We were homeless. We couldn't get a place to rent to us, and it was by the grace of good people that we found the house that we're in, right? And now the house that we're in has wonderful people across the street from us. And we're getting to know them and to see them. And it's wonderful because they're in the same kind of place that we're in, even though they're like 12 years behind us. And like
They are young.
they are so young. They're like baby adults. They're like doing the adult thing, trying to live their lives, raise their family, doing everything we're doing, but they're just 12 years behind us. And it's like, it's crazy because life brought us together. And I feel like I've got a soul family across the street from me. And like, because they're real and they let me see their life as it is, not pretending to be something they're not cleaning up to make the house look nice so I come over and everything looks right. You know, they let it hang out and be real. And I think that's so cool.
As opposed to somebody who cleans up because you're coming over and they put on airs.
Yes, I've been that person. I've been the person that has tried to like make my house look nicer than it was because I knew people were coming over. And like, I don't want to be that person anymore because I mean not that my house shouldn't look nice, but just that I shouldn't have to put on a front for the people that I'm inviting into my life. And that's more what I feel like with this person that they're helping me be is real because they've lived a life. And even though they're 12 years behind me, they have their hurdles and mountains that they've climbed and they've been through. And it's like they it's brought them to the same place. I mean, right across the street from us, literally to the same place. And they have a daughter of the same age as ours, and it's really cool. So we're like soul family, just meeting up, connecting, seeing how each other's doing, and then eventually maybe going our separate ways. You know how life does that.
I do know how life kind of swings you into and out of the life of people, but I also know that we can impact that to some degree. And for this, I would encourage you, Alma, to impact that in some way. If circumstances change and people move to different locations or move on to different aspects or areas of their life that take them different places, I would encourage you to maintain and keep contact in this relationship. And hopefully the other person will as well. But that said, you're right. It has been nice to have neighbors. We live in a neighborhood that's not very neighborly. We live in a neighborhood that when we took our children out to trick or treat, we had somebody stop and tell us we really ought to go back in our home because it wasn't safe. Now, our town has trick or treating, but that's a different story. Just not, our neighborhood wasn't the place we ought to be doing that sort of thing. So he gave us $20 so we could buy candy and just told us to go home. It was unsettling. So while we do have neighbors, this isn't the most neighborly of neighborhoods, but it was nice to have a neighbor. And this is, again, a blessing. And I've said so many times that the good Lord works through the blessings. His blessings are the people that he puts in your life, right?
Very much so.
The paths that you end up getting to cross. So,
I think that wholeheartedly, because it's the people you get to meet. Like, they're the miracles in your life. Like, they're the stories you get to tell. They're the moments you get to make. Like, they're the together times you get to share. Like, that's everything. And that's life. So the paths you're crossing, make the most of them, because those are the people you're going to carry with you, or you should be carrying with you if you're making the most of your moments. That's what I try to do, at least, you know? And that's all I can ask of other people, is what I do myself.
well, you could ask for more.
You could ask for more?
Yeah,
Nah,
you could. You could ask for things you don't do yourself. Nobody's stopping you.
I feel that's hypocritical. I like to.
Isn't that a lion and an eagle?
What?
Isn't that a lion and an eagle?
I don't know.
A hypocrite?
Oh. You're funny, hippogriff.
Oh, hippogriff. Oh. I don't like hippogriffs either.
You're so silly.
You know. Okay. So, enough about me. This is really about you. And choices. Choices you make. Now, before we get into this, I'd just like to pose it to chat. I will post this everywhere that I can think, because I'd really appreciate engagement. Put yourself in the shoes of an 8-year-old young man. He loves cars. He loves rescue vehicles. He loves rescue bots, Fireman Sam. This is his thing. Okay, now, picture you're at a store and there's a whole bin of Hot Wheels.
Not a
Hot
whole
Wheel
bin.
cars.
don't mislead. It was like a nearly empty, like picked over, like had some stuff in there. You had some choices, but like to him, it would have been awesome.
So what did I say that was misleading?
Okay, my bad. It would have been awesome to him. Yes.
But yeah, I said a huge bin. You said it wasn't a huge bin. That's misleading. It was picked over, nothing really there. You know, what was left over, but would have been awesome. If anything, you just oversold it. I was trying to keep everything neutral. Now, imagine that little boy isn't even there, because that's inconsequential to what we're going to talk about. Imagine, and I'll let Alma tell the full story, but imagine, if you will, that you're there at the store and you see this picked over, half-eaten, leftover bin of what every Hot Wheel, that people didn't want. And knowing your audience loves rescue vehicles, loves Fireman Sam, loves rescue bots, loves just cars in general. Okay. And then you see in the bin of picked over, you see two possible choices. One is a standard run-of-the-mill Batmobile.
Red.
But the
His
other
favorite color, red.
See,
Batmobile.
you're overselling it. I'm just trying to get people to stay neutral here. Then, something you've never seen before. Well, it's a truck. But it's a toilet. All right, now, which one do you think you'd choose, knowing your target audience? Alma, I'm going to kick it over to you now. Which one did you choose?
I chose the toilet truck. Because, apparently the poop humor gets me, and it impairs my judgment when I'm there picking a reward for my little guy. And I had an audience with me to help me make that judgment call, and they sided with me too.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, you said it was our second daughter.
Yes, and
who is also into poop humor.
Yeah, she is.
So my son, his gift today, in other words, was bamboozled by two people who like toilet humor.
What's even worse is that we brought it over to him so triumphant. Like we had just found the golden treasure. And he absorbed that energy and that excitement of the find. And he was like, I have been waiting a really long time for this. And he was excited about it. So as much as you want to say Batmobile, that little guy loved his toilet truck.
Okay, now let me... Dave, the Hunter over in YouTube chat. Good evening, my friend. Welcome. So we're talking about my wife and her choices. She went with the toilet car, or the toilet truck, as opposed to the Batmobile. And my son was excited. Yes, but he had went from thinking he wasn't getting anything to getting a truck. Let me ask you, Alma, do you think if you would have taken the red Batmobile over, that he would have been excited?
Yes, I think he would have. I think that because he's a good kid, so he would have been excited with anything I brought him. So
you can't sell his excitement as proof that you made the right choice with the toilet car.
Oh, I know.
You might argue that you couldn't make a bad choice because he was going to be happy with anything he got. But that doesn't reinforce your choice of the toilet car over the Batmobile. The second you said, oh, they had a Batmobile, they had this, we picked the toilet car. I was like, So it came down to Batmobile or toilet truck, and you went with the toilet truck? Wow.
Oh, that poor little guy. His mom has a sense of humor.
Either way, I mean, I think it was exciting for him to get a truck. I think it's cool that he got something unique. I'm not totally knocking the toilet truck. It looks pretty cool, right? You don't see a lot of Hot Wheels that look like that. All those things notwithstanding, still, it comes down to a Batmobile or a toilet. And Mom picks the toilet.
I thought it was so unique.
Kids are rocking out their their Batman stuff. He's got a toilet truck. Well, I could have gotten a Batmobile, but my mom picked this one out. She thought it was cooler.
She thought it was cooler.
It was reaffirmed by my sister, who also thought it was cooler. So there you have it. Choices between toilets, Batmobiles. Yeah, I don't know what else was in the bin, so I can't say anything to the quality or quantity of the cars. But it was, in fact, a choice between a Batmobile and a toilet. And once again, for all the people just tuning in, what'd you pick?
Yep, I picked the toilet car.
And my son said, I've been waiting for so long.
It was so precious, too. He's got this little twang to his voice, and, he's just so cute.
Dave says it's funny to him because earlier he misheard somebody say it's scoop slam. He thought they said poop slam. Listen, two totally different moves. One is not so bad. The other could be extremely bad. Nuclear Waffles, good evening over in the Kick Chat team. Don't forget, if you're listening to us on the podcast, you can catch us live Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Kick.com and YouTube.com. Owndog creates on either platform. We'd love to have you swing in, say hello. And, let us know. Would you go poop car? Let me walk that back. It's not a poop car. It's a toilet car. Would you go toilet truck or would you go Batmobile? It's the question for the ages, right? You're playing your latest Batman title. Well, to be fair, if you're playing a Batman title, you might jump in the toilet truck. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Like some sort of weird Grand Theft Auto scenario. I'll bet they have all the tools you need to be able to jump a makeshift Batman into some sort of toilet style mobile. But, I'm not sure. With that said, that's your homework, team. Between now and next time, I'd really like to get your thoughts on Batmobile versus toilet truck. Let us know. You can email us, links in the description. You can hit us up on our Discord. We both have tweeters. And I guess Alma, it's X now, but I'm not going to call it that.
X.
If you call it X, we're technically there too. Beyond that, till we see you again, make a great night. Make somebody else's night great as well.
And tell somebody you love them.
It's very important. Remember to tell somebody you love them, just like Alma said. Alma, I love you.
And I love you.
And we love you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being you. And thanks for all you do. Till next time, keep owning the evening.